Welcome to today's edition of 10 TV Plus. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud alongside Jay Plyburn. Jay, the cold air this weekend, finally we're getting rid of it, and we have some drier weather this weekend.
Thank goodness, because it was brutally cold. Slap you in the face cold when you walked outside.
It was really bad out there this past weekend, or especially going
Early
into
in the week, yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday out there. Well, and there's so many issues. You don't realize how for granted you take the milder temperatures until you don't have it.
Right.
You're going to try to start your car, it doesn't start. The battery's dead half the time. The tire pressure's low.
I noticed even turning the wheel of my car, like it didn't operate like it normally does.
Yeah.
Because it was so cold outside.
Yeah, cars don't like thick fluid. So we have good news for you, though. We are warming up. So let's dive right into this weather story for today. And as we head off to the west, we haven't had a lot of snowfall. We got some. You can see some folks out here at Mad River Mountain. Man, those snow guns were going this morning, and, why not? It was so cold out there. If you don't get the natural snow, go ahead and make it. So if January were to end right now, this would go down as the 5th coldest January on record. As we look out here, 1977 takes the cake for the coldest January on record, but we are in that number 5 spot here, and these records go all the way back to the 1800s. So with all that cold air that we've had, you might be tempted to go out on some of the lakes and whatnot. I know that a lot of the ponds too are frozen over. Just be careful. Make sure the ice is thick enough. As a general rule of thumb, ice needs to be at least 4, preferably 5 inches thick to go ice fishing or ice skating, just to maintain the weight of a human body. As we look at snowmobiles, ATVs, you want it closer to 5 or 6 inches. Small vehicles, 8 to 12 inches. Larger vehicles, 12 to 15 inches. So just be so careful out there, because you don't want to lose any lives with ice here, because unfortunately that happens every year. Snowfall yesterday, about 0.2 of an inch. The January total is 11.8 inches. So when we tally this up, 11.8, where should we be? About 7 inches. So we are actually running a little bit of a snowfall surplus so far for the year. And you know what? As we look off down to the south, look at this. I cannot wrap my head around this here. Lafayette had 13.4 inches, Pensacola 8 inches, and southern Georgia also had some areas close to a foot of snowfall. That's just mind-boggling out there. Your sunrise was at 7:46 today. You're probably noticing a little bit of extra daylight here every day. And in fact, we are close to 10 hours now for your day length. All right, so we are gaining a lot of day, gaining about 2 minutes every day. So slowly but surely making some progress. This morning we had some clouds out there, but as we head into the afternoon, take a look at this. The clouds are thinning on out. And in fact, you probably noticed quite a bit of blue sky this morning. Clouds early on your Saturday. I have one thing I want to point out for you here. Notice that we get a speck of snow right there. Just a little bit of a flurry possible on Saturday. That's it. I mean, maybe a few flurries out there, then the rest of the weekend is looking pretty good. Who else has a dirty car? I know I do. If you're trying to get out there and wash your car, I think tomorrow's a good day. Why not today? You're below freezing, so you don't want to be doing that when it's below freezing. You probably don't want to do it on Sunday, because Sunday will be below freezing as well. Over the next few days, though, bam, we got high pressure right there. And again, what high pressure does is that kind of redirects the storm track here. There's plenty of storms. I mean, there's plenty of moisture, but we're not going to get anything over the next week or two, because high pressure is just going to be anchored down to our south. And so here's your storm track up to the north that are going to be riding into Quebec and Toronto and parts of Montreal, but we don't really get anything here across parts of the Midwest. Heading into tomorrow, we're looking at 35 degrees for the temperature, a little bit warmer out there. Dry on your Sunday. Notice that tomorrow's low, though, very cold in the morning. And in fact, we're talking about a 25-degree difference from the morning to the afternoon. Sunday, though, isn't looking too bad. All right, the City of Champions will be getting ready to celebrate here. 12 noon on Sunday. Be there or be square. 28 degrees, though. It is going to be cold. And in fact, we looked at some new model data within the past couple of hours, and unfortunately, we lowered some of these daytime highs just a smidge because we don't think it's going to be above freezing now. So just heads up, you've been warned, definitely dress warm for that. Heading out towards February 6th, though, temperatures near average, rainfall slightly above average, and so the trend is showing that things are going to be warming up over the next 10 days. So this yellow line right here is your temperature, and then down here is the date. So February 3rd, that's about 2 weeks out. notice that we start off cold. That is today, and then we get warmer. Then we get warmer, and then we retrograde a little bit, and then we get warmer again. So the trend is definitely that things are going to be a lot milder as we head out towards the next 10 days. 7-day forecast goes like this. Tomorrow we have your clouds. Sunday we have your clouds. And then heading into Monday, I think that the weather impact on Monday is probably going to be the wind, okay? The temperature is 35 degrees, but take a look at this here. The wind will be coming in from the west at about 10 to 20 in the morning. By Monday afternoon, though, the wind will be about 35 miles per hour. So that 35, do you think it's going to feel like 35 if the wind is gusting at 40 miles per hour? No, it's probably going to feel like 20 degrees out there. So, you know, that number might be a little bit deceptive. It might feel more like 20 here on Monday with that wind chill. Nonetheless, as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday, we are warming it up. We are back up to around 40 as we head into the middle of next week. So things are definitely going to be on the mend as we get some milder days upon us here heading into the next several days.
Upper 30s, lower 40s is going to feel toasty compared to the single digits and sub-zero temperatures.
Even yesterday, it was like 18 degrees in the afternoon. I'm like, this is pretty nice.
Yeah.
This is pretty nice.
It's good to see it warming up
compared to where we've been. All right, so I want to do a little weather trivia action today.
Oh boy.
All right, we're going to quiz your brain a little bit here. And I know there's been, by popular demand, a lot of folks are asking for us to start doing this. So today my question is, in the city of Columbus, what was our most snow in a season? That would be from October through April. Option A, 67.8 inches, 29.4, 100 inches, or 1,000, basically round that up to 1,100.
Not that. Let's see, most snow in a single season. I'll go 29 doesn't seem like enough. Yeah, I'm going to go B. I'm going to go with the low number there.
67.8.
That much? That's so much.
Yeah, 1910. It was over 100 years ago.
Wow.
About 115 years ago, but we had 67.8 inches. By the way, that is about what they get in Cleveland during an average year.
That much?
Yeah,
Wow.
They get quite a bit up there.
That's a lot of snow.
So our snowfall trends have actually been declining here across the Buckeye State. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but I want to share some numbers with you here, talking about some of these snowfall numbers here. The city of Cleveland has seen a 42% increase in their 30-year average for snowfall. Meanwhile, in Columbus, we've seen a 4.6% decrease. Cincinnati, close to a 1% decrease. And the reason why is because we've been looking at fewer days in the winter where Lake Erie has ice. Now, let me explain, okay? If there's more ice over Lake Erie, you get cold air flowing in from Canada. What happens when there's ice? The lake isn't able to warm up that air mass. So that air stays cold, and if it's colder, well, we have a better chance of getting snow opposed to rain. On the contrary, less ice is favorable for a wintry season in Cleveland. The reason why is because if you don't have that lake ice, you get more evaporation. That leads to more lake effect snow. So I know that's kind of a mouthful there, but I want to share with you the current ice extent. And you can see right here, 23.2% of the Great Lakes currently have ice cover. Lake Huron, Michigan, Superior, these are very deep, very, very, very deep lakes, whereas Lake Erie is much more shallow, which is why we are talking about 90, I think it's like 93% coverage right now. And that is the most shallow of the Great Lakes. And so what that means is that we're shutting off that lake effect snow machine here for Cleveland, whereas Lake Ontario right now and like places like Syracuse, New York, Buffalo, they still have a pretty fair shot at getting some snow from lake effect snow. So that's kind of the deal. I just wanted to kind of spew in my 2 cents there. But generally speaking, I know this January we've had favorable snow, and I think a lot of that is because we've been seeing quite a bit of lake ice coverage here over the Great Lakes.
Still stay off the ice.
Still stay off. Yeah, like we said before, you need at least 4 to 5 inches to support human weight. So.
It'd be tough to measure it, though. He'd have to drill down through
You have to drill,
it.
you have to get on the ice to see if it's safe enough to be on the ice. So,
yeah. No.
Anyways, well, that does it for us here on 10 TV Plus. I hope you had a great time. I'm Dylan Robichaud. This is Jay Plyburn. We hope that you tune in for Jerry Martz tonight on 10 TV News starting at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.